Big Apple leaks show the iPhone roadmap. A new flip foldable and the iPhone 20 are on the way. When it comes to iPhone releases, Apple has kept things quite predictable. Since the iPhone 4's, new models have nearly always come out in the autumn. There have been a few times when this hasn't been the case, but September is normally Apple's favorite month. This year was no different. The iPhone 17 came out on September 9. Of course, that means that most people think the iPhone 18 will follow the same path next year. But this time, the rumor mill suggests Apple might have a small surprise in store. If the latest claims are to be accepted, Apple could be revising its release plan next year. That doesn't mean we won't see new iPhones in September. It just means we might not see them all at once. The normal iPhone 18 might not come out in the autumn, and instead come out later, maybe in the spring of 2027. Here's what sources think could happen. In fall 2026, Apple might reveal the iPhone Air 2, iPhone 18 Pro, iPhone 18 Pro Max, and maybe even the long-rumored foldable iPhone. Notice what's missing: the regular iPhone 18. According to reports, that one could make its debut a few months later, alongside the predicted iPhone 18e, possibly in spring 2027. Basically, Apple could be spreading its iPhone portfolio between two events, one in the fall and one in the spring. That's the question everyone's asking. According to one report, Apple feels this new launch strategy could enhance iPhone sales overall. How exactly? Well, that's the bit that's a little fuzzy. Traditionally, the normal iPhone, the base model, outsells the Pro variants because it strikes the sweet spot. Lower price, simpler design, and capabilities most people actually need. So, delaying the most popular version sounds a bit contradictory, unless Apple's purpose is to push people into other models first. Maybe the business thinks that by pushing back the base iPhone 18, some purchasers will go for the iPhone Air 2 or perhaps the rumored foldable iPhone instead. It could also be a way to stretch things out, keep something fresh for the spring when sales normally slow down. Another possible reason: timing. Samsung generally launches its Galaxy S series in January, and by bringing the iPhone 18 release closer to that, Apple could deflect some focus away from the Galaxy S27 in 2027. It's a savvy marketing play. Oh, Samsung just launched a new phone. Cool, but Apple's got one coming straight after. Or maybe Apple just thinks it'll already have a full array of sparkling new devices in the fall, between the Pro models, Air, and possibly the foldable, and wants to spread the hoopla out a bit. Of course, until Apple acknowledges anything, this is all speculation. Reports and leaks hint that a release shift could be imminent, but everything might stay exactly the same. Apple isn't exactly famous for last-minute shocks when it comes to launch timing, but then again, it's also not hesitant to shake things up when it wants to. So, the safest bet? Expect the iPhone 18 series to make its appearance next fall as usual, even if the normal model might decide to take a short break and show up later. Either way, 2026 and 2027 are building up to be intriguing years for iPhone enthusiasts, especially if the foldable finally makes its long-awaited arrival. Apple is slated to update its iPhone lineup in 2026 with the debut of the iPhone Fold, but fresh batch of leaks suggests near-yearly revisions for Apple until 2028 that could put the iPhone lineup in a completely different place. This is feasible because 2027 will be the 20th anniversary of the debut of the original iPhone. Much like Apple produced the iPhone X for the 10th anniversary in 2017, a fresh rumor promises a rebrand in 2027 for the iPhone 19 series. According to the Korean magazine ET News, the analysis firm unveil expects Apple will unveil the 2027 iPhone family as the iPhone 20. Apple will release the iPhone 18e and iPhone 20 in the first half of 2027, and the iPhone 20 Air Pro, Pro Max, and iPhone Fold 2 in the second half. Hyo-moo Yul, a senior researcher at unveil, reportedly claimed at a conference in Seoul this week. If it proves accurate, that would contradict a recent story saying that the iPhone Fold may be delayed beyond 2027. It's likely this might be a way for Apple to reset the iPhone brand in 2027, especially with the predicted split release schedule. It is strange that he was claiming that Apple will release the vanilla iPhone 20 earlier, considering the current reports have the iPhone 18 launching with the iPhone 18 in the following spring. It's only been in the last year that the rumor mill started constantly mentioning a book-style foldable iPhone. As far back as 2015, the early reports regarding a foldable iPhone, the iPhone Flip, suggested a handset more akin to the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 or the Motorola Razr Ultra. The next speculation, once again via ET News, suggests a Flip design will emerge in 2028. The estimate comes from the market research firm Stone Partners during a tech summit organized by ET News in Seoul. A clamshell-type foldable iPhone will appear in 2028, Kim Kae-han, a director at the corporation, stated. According to Kim, the clamshell iPhone will contain an under-display camera and many display features like low-temperature polycrystalline oxide, also known as LTPO, color filter on encapsulation, and glass midframe. Additionally, Apple is apparently going to debut LTPO Plus in 2027 with the 20th anniversary phones, a technology first introduced on Apple devices in the Apple Watch Ultra 3 this year. He went on to argue that Apple will offer four-sided bending technology, which is meant to enable bezel-less displays. Lastly, Kim predicted that Apple would extend OLED adoption to the iPad mini in 2026 and the iPad Air in 2027. Next year's MacBook Pros should finally have OLED panels as well. By that date, Apple's speculated gigantic foldable iPad might finally make its introduction after apparently hitting the wall this year. On the iPhone Fold side, we've been waiting for an iPhone Fold for the better part of a decade now, and while some of the speculations in that period never turned out, it seems like we're now on the cusp of seeing a true, real-life folding iPhone. Initial speculation stated that Apple was working on a foldable flip phone that would be the fabled iPhone Flip, but more recent talk has changed to a notebook-style folding in the fashion of the Samsung Z Fold 7. Additional speculations say Apple is trying to outfit its foldable with sophisticated display tech, even compared to rival foldable with a price tag to match. Considering the greatest foldable that are already out there, such as Samsung's Z Fold and the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold, Apple is going to have some difficult competition for its iPhone Fold. Still, phones from Apple draw a lot of attention, and the iPhone Fold should be no different. It appears that the iPhone Fold will have a premiere in 2026, along with the iPhone 18 series, at least according to a poster on Weibo. The iPhone Fold may also be accompanied by a foldable iPad if we're lucky, but we'll stay focused on the phone now. We've heard several release rumors in the past that never turned out, but when you look at other leaks showing pieces like the display have started production, the 2026 launch claim looks more believable than earlier ones have. And Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, a strong source for impending Apple product news, has started posting iPhone Fold specs, which is a good hint that there's some fire beneath all this smoke. As for pricing, estimates from various analysts have pegged the cost at roughly $2,000, which is the same that Samsung charges for the Z Fold 7. Some have suggested a somewhat cheaper pricing also, although this sadly feels less realistic than Apple charging a premium for its first foldable. Tipsters further allege that the foldable iPhone will contain no SIM tray, only support for an eSIM like the iPhone Air or the iPhone 17 models in the US, but in return for this uncomfortable update, Apple may bring back Touch ID, now unavailable on any new iPhone, for unlocking tasks. That said, the feature might yet be turned out for Face ID while Apple figures out exactly how to manufacture its first foldable. When the phone is finally built, it should supposedly be the thinnest iPhone yet made when unfurled, beating the already remarkable iPhone Air, which measures 5.6 millimeters. By way of contrast, the Z Fold 7 is 4.2 millimeters thin when it's unfolded. Of course, a phone won't fold without a hinge, and from what we're hearing, the hinge in the iPhone Fold may not be as pricey as was first thought. Good news for Apple, sure, but ideally for anyone wanting to buy the phone too, and even for competitor phone makers who can profit from Apple's infrastructure. So let us know your thought in the comment section. Then we'll see you in the next one. See you tomorrow. Peace out.